So I was holding him and I thought, oh my goodness, I just wrecked this kid's life, because not only am I this 17-year-old girl with a child, but that's his father. So I really, tried to do it right. I graduated high school. He was at my graduation. And I am the only one in my family that graduated high school. So it was a big deal and an accomplishment for me, I felt like, and walking with him. I tried to go to college right out of that, but I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, and back then it's like you had to go to the library, and it was just always difficult. We moved to Rockville, and then I got pregnant and had our second son. He was born in December of 1994. I was trying to make a family for my first son, because he should have a family. He should have everything that every regular kid should have, and just because he was born to young parents doesn't mean he shouldn't have that. So I really wanted it to work out, even though I could see in my ex-husband that these weren't great qualities necessarily. So we had our second son, and then we got married like a week later because he was going to get medical insurance through work. And I was like, oh, and then he can insure us all. So we got married, and I was like, well, if it doesn't work out, we can get divorced. And I think like that because I come from a family of all single women. So it's like, well, if it doesn't work out, that was a norm to me. And we were married in December of 1994. I started beauty school in April, and I had gone in to check it out, and I was like, oh, this seems interesting, maybe this is something I could do. And I went in there and I was like, oh, I love this, and I love hair, and I love it. And you got right out on the floor, and it was just amazing. And I started, and it's a 40-hour week. It's 1,550 hours, and I started that program. Almost as soon as I started that program, my husband at the time started having an affair. I don't know why I thought that once you got married, you don't cheat, even though he cheated prior to that. But I don't know. In my head, I'm like, nope, you just don't do that. So I'm not looking for that. And then I would start hearing rumors, because people at school would be like, oh, I saw your husband, or I saw him here, or I saw him there, or the cops picked him up. Oh, he's in jail. All these things, and I'm just trying to go to school, and he wouldn't show up to watch the kids so I can go to school. And so I would always be scrambling to find somebody to watch the kids so I could go to school. My instructor at beauty school, she was a good friend of mine, became a good friend of mine, and we should go up here, whatever. So we're gonna go to camping, and I have the kids with me, so I'm gonna go camping with my kids. And it ends up that we go to her parents' house, which is just on the lake from where we have like a camper. So we went camping, and all night I had this feeling. This is on my shoulders and my neck. I could feel it. Something was wrong. Something didn't feel right. And so early in the morning, I was like, I'm just going to run over down to the lake and whatever. And so I went down there, and I went to the bus, that's the camper, and it was locked. So I'm knocking. He's like, I said, why is the door locked? He's like, oh, I'm coming. I was like, okay. And so I'm like waiting. It's a bus. Where are you coming from? Like, it's to here. He comes, and he just comes out, like walks out, like we're not going to go in. He's like, not going to let me in, but we're going to walk out. And I said, oh, I need a drink of water. So I was going to go inside because I was like, something's not right. So I go inside, and I see nothing, right? And again, it's a bus. So I don't know where anybody's going to be. But the blankets are up on the bed, and I was like, I'm just going to pull those covers down. So I pull the covers down, and there's a girl in there like this, and she's just laying flat. I saw a ponytail and brown hair, and that's about it. I couldn't see her face. I didn't really see her face. I didn't really see anything. She's like hiding under the blankets. And I thought I left with my dignity, and she didn't. And so then, oh, we're going to work it out, blah, blah, blah. October, we were in our new apartment, and he doesn't come home, and he comes home in the middle of the night, hickeys, and he's like crying. He's going to say goodbye to the boys, and took one of our cars and drove to California because his brother lives there. Came back from California, and he had to go to jail. So he went to jail, and I think he was in jail for 6 weeks, and then he went to treatment. And I remember in treatment he said, if I ever use again, leave me. And I was like, okay. And so he was sober for a year, and I think he really, tried to do good things and things like that. And in that time, we had our daughter. So we had Madison, and by the next year he was using again. And when he uses, he's just lazy and indifferent and doesn't care and whatever. And I was like, "Are you using?" And he was like, No, I'm not. It's like, okay. Well, then one day I was in the car and I found all of his stuff and I put it on the table. I said, "You want to tell me now that you're not using?" And he said, "Well, it's my body. I can do what I want, and and you can't tell me what to do, and you can't control me, and all these things." And so for a week, I fell for that. Like, okay, we can do this. He can do this, and it'll be fine, or whatever. For a week, and then after a week, I was like, no, this is my life too, and I'm not living like that, and I don't want it in my house, and I don't want it. Comes to find out later that he was with the same girl he had an affair with, and he moves out. And that is because he could move in with his girlfriend. And so he moved right in with his girlfriend. And the first time he came to pick up the kid, and he came with her. And during that time, so from July to December, he would go back and forth between me and this other girl. And this one time he's screaming at me, he's gonna slash my tires, and he's gonna kill me, and all these things. And so in May, I was gonna finally just serve the divorce papers, and I was scared. So I went to my mom's house to stay, so that when he got them, I was there.